Right, let the record show Commissioners Nelson, Schaaf, and Goldhahn are present. Still waiting for Commissioner Mallett. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from a number of meetings. The regular Police and Fire Commission meeting held on April 7th, and also the minutes from special meetings held on April 11th and April 13th to do interviews. I'll entertain a motion for approval of all three.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. President's report, nothing new to report. I think the chiefs probably in their updates will remind us of the dates for some graduations and the inspections coming up. So we do have a number of items this month that the commissioners been invited to. Next item is approval of the patrol officer eligibility list. That was included in your information packet. So Jen, just for clarifications, the new folks have been slotted in based upon their scores from the interviews? Okay, and then this will stay active for 1 year.
So just to clarify, the highest scoring is at the top? Is that
This
it?
is an alphabetical.
This is an alphabetical, okay, that's
We're gonna do the backgrounds and get ready to
Then
bring
we'll
them
get-
towards
then
that.
we'll get-
That will
okay.
go in the order of how they score on that. Any other questions? Not?
And there, just,
Sure.
there was one candidate that on the list that we talked about that it was questionable, would be in background check, is that what it would be? The young lady?
I don't recall that one, I'm sorry.
This one? Is that,
Yeah, I think we'll wait to hear back
and then do that?
from that, yes.
Okay.
From that.
I know.
Have to be careful here, since we're talking about
Mhm.
people, we have to
That's
go to
what I
closed
said.
session. Yeah, okay. Any other questions on this? All right, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the eligibility list. Moved by Commissioner Nelson,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Report from the chiefs.
First, since I've got a whole bunch.
You got a whole bunch, yeah, if you want to start us out.
Okay, sure. Real quick, just a quick crime update. You know, we have seen an increase in some categories of crime, sexual assaults, robberies, and aggravated assaults. So our violent crime is up double digits, 15, 16% right now. And it was 22% 3 weeks ago, down to 17, down to 11, back up to 15. So that's going to fluctuate pretty quickly because the numbers are pretty small. We had a couple very significant incidents. We had that home invasion, which was a big concern for us. As soon as we realized that it was a series, I called the detectives in over the weekend, and they had a guy in custody within about 6 hours, which was great for me. Turns out that that individual just came up here from Chicago. He was out of prison recently for homicide. It's about a 20-year-old guy. He told us he beat the homicide rap down in Chicago, and then came up here and just started going into people's houses and targeting women, apparently, going through open doors. Turns out two of our female officers have been working together, Janelle, I want to say Kleeman, and Brittany Vanderbunt were working together one night about 2 weeks ago. They spotted this individual wandering around the back of somebody's house. He made up some excuse that he lost his phone or something. They didn't buy it. They got all his info, did a really good job. Then when we started seeing this series, they noticed he was in the same neighborhood, matched the description, put it together. Detectives ran with it, and he was in custody by the middle of the afternoon that day. So that was great for us.
Was there a series of break-ins over on the west side then, on Oakwood? There was two of them on Oakwood and another cross street at the same.
No,
report.
not related to this. There may be a burglary series over there, but I'll.
That's my neighborhood, so that's why I was.
I'm gonna definitely check on that, because we do our crime control meetings every Tuesday, and that one didn't come up as a spot. Were they recent?
Yeah, just a couple nights ago, it said, well, all of them said the same thing, went in through a patio door.
Yeah,
it just
and that's
seemed
what this
weird.
guy did. So what this guy would do, not for publication, is, you know, he would shine a flashlight off his cell phone at people so they couldn't see him, and, you know, go into people's rooms, take things, and, you know, looked like it was escalating. So we're really glad to have him in custody, and I think it's gonna stick pretty well.
Was that the nature of the homicide charge down in Illinois?
No, our detectives are still looking that up, but
Okay.
he had a long history, like they say, from everything from hopscotch to homicide down in the Chicago area, so he had a long, lengthy history.
Okay.
So we're glad to get him in. There've been a couple of shootings, which I think you probably paid attention to. We do have some people in custody from the shooting over there on Heather. where there was 2 cars, looks like a car-to-car shooting, but there were about 4 people in each car, so. Sir? So we do have 2 people in custody, we're still looking for a bunch more on that. And then the one over on Mason Street, which occurred, I think it was Monday afternoon. Individuals knew each other, and it was all over narcotics. All these shootings that I talked about have all been over narcotics.
Okay.
And so that individual is still outstanding. We believe he's in Chicago, but they're looking for him down there.
Okay.
So that's a quick update on crime. I'd like to pass this out.
Just want to check, I think Officer Vandenblunt was one of the first ones that we hired before the academy and sponsored through the academy.
Yeah,
So
she was a CSI, right?
Yeah.
That's
Brittany,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Brittany.
yeah, she was the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Good job.
Really proud of them. That's what stopped it. And the fact, not that they just remembered it, but that they were so proactive out in that neighborhood at night. They spotted this guy, they said, you know, that doesn't look right. They stopped him, they followed up on it, they did all the stuff they needed to do, and then they remembered it when the series started, that this guy was creeping around in that neighborhood. So good for them. I couldn't be prouder. So one of the things that I'd like to do is, and I mentioned it in my interview, was that I'd like to work on changing the organizational structure of the department. And I've had a group of officers working on that. We've done surveys inside the department and outside the department with community stakeholders. And I made a copy of what my proposal is, and I just wanted to keep you updated on where that is. The one thing that's really significant of this is, I could draw your attention to, is it requires 2 commanders. We don't have commander positions now. We have 9 captains, but no commanders. So the conception here, and this is still a work in progress, updated this afternoon, is that we would have a commander of operations and a commander of investigations. This would allow us to, instead of having 9 captains all at the same rank, we would have, we'd have 7 captains and then 2 commanders to oversee those captains. Right now, we have captains in those 2 positions, Paul Abel in one and Jim Runge in the other. I told everybody that, all the captains, that it would be a competition for those spots. They would be able to apply for them, and we'd have an interview process. So Lynn Bolin is asked to be a part of the interview process along with myself, and I'm looking for a 3rd person, and I thought I'd throw it out to someone from here if you'd be interested in being a part of that process. I can't imagine there'd be more than 3 or 4 candidates that would apply for it, as many as 9, I guess, on the outside, but we would do it within the next week or 2. Once I get approval from the Personnel Commission, then we do interviews like that. If not one of you, then I'd see if I could find a community stakeholder, or business leader, someone on the business side to do that, but I'd throw that open.
Are you available?
Yeah, I'd be happy to as well. Although, just a check, when I'd asked to continue to be on the panel that did the promotional interviews, I think the legal department said I shouldn't
You
be on the
heard
commission,
lieutenants.
so, but this would be okay for that, okay?
We could verify that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be very interesting.
It would be fun, I think it'd be interesting.
Mhm.
Just for us novice, what would be the difference between the commander's position and the captain's position?
So the commander would be overseeing all of operations, and he would be overseeing all the captains that you have in there. Right now, we have a problem where a patrol officer's working, they have a case, they go to look for some guidance on that case. They've got a patrol captain, or a shift captain, they've got the operations captain, they've got a detective captain, and all 3 of them could give them conflicting issues or conflicting advice on what to do, or conflicting directions. With a single commander in charge, he would be able to not only hold all those captains accountable, but he would be able to resolve any disputes. As we move forward, I'd like to bring in more of a CompStat type process where we'll look at specifically crime, but also internal procedures, and hold the captains accountable through the CompStat process. Now, the captains in the CompStat process are going to be fighting to try and get as many resources for their areas they can, and so it will be up to this commander to decide how to allocate those resources based on our data-driven model that we're planning on using. So the captain is going to be overseeing the group or the commander will oversee a group of captains, and he'll be making the decision as to who gets what resources and resolving disputes with them and providing a single chain of command for everybody, so we'll all know who we're accountable for and we'll all know who we're accountable to.
And how is that being done now without the commanding position?
Well, Paul Abel is acting as a commander generally in that position, but I'd also like to really put some more emphasis and more responsibility on the captains on the east side and the captains on the west side. They're going to be the real toughest job, I think, in this whole org chart is going to be the captains on the east side and the captains on the west side. We're giving them not just the community policing officers that they have now, but under this we give them functional control over all the patrol resources and all the community policing resources and the crime prevention resources. So giving them control of all those resources, we would hold them accountable for everything that's happening on their area. For instance, John Laux is on the east side. If I've got a problem on the east side, John Laux, what are you doing about the Coles, theft problem we have at Coles?
Okay, thanks.
One other crime thing to mention, and then I will I'll talk about our inspection. The other crime issue is looking at the crimes we have in the city of Green Bay. 19% of our crime so far this year has been retail theft, and the retail theft but retail theft at 5 locations. And that accounts for 19% of the crime in Green Bay. 19% of all crimes. Shopko East, Walmart, Shopko West, Family Dollar on Walnut, and Kohl's. So to me, that's just an outrageous amount of crime that's coming out of 5 locations. So what we've done is we've got together a little task force that's going to go to each of those locations and see what's working. For instance, at the Walmart, the second biggest crime generating place, they've got a huge problem with retail theft, obviously, but across the street or across the parking lot at the Family Dollar, almost nothing. So what's Family Dollar doing right that Walmart needs to change their policies or tactics with? Now, I know there's a little different clientele and stuff, but it's the same neighborhood, stores right next to each other, both have valuable merchandise. Nothing's getting stolen from Family Dollar, apparently, and Walmart's losing, probably $1 million a year in theft.
All Walmarts or just one location?
Just the one, yeah, the one over on the west side is the one. So we're gonna get together a task force to work on that. The goal is not to get those numbers down so much, but to get the problem fixed on the inside. So if they're losing $500,000 to shrinkage, I'd like to see that reduced to $200,000 or $100,000, and I think that'd be the way to do it. Hopefully along those lines, we'll be able to help them with some environmental design and some procedures that they can have and enact that other stores are using, so that we don't have this huge problem of somebody running out of Walmart with a CD, getting caught, going to jail, and churning a Part 1 crime for us. The final thing I have is our inspection's all set for the 14th. I keep checking my weather forecast. It's either supposed to rain the day before or the day after. And then, long-range AccuWeather tells me it should be a pretty decent day that Sunday. Starts at 8 o'clock. We'll probably be done certainly by 10, but if someone were to want to come to the beginning, hear the mayor speak, watch our formation, we'll do a quick 21-gun salute. We'll have it to honor fallen officers because it's the start of Police Memorial Week. We'll do a quick picture and then let people go on their way, or they can stay and look at a SWAT demonstration, motorcycle demonstration, K-9 demonstration, things of that nature. And then at the end, we'll have a cookout. Some community folks, Pastor Lentz are cooking lunch for us. We have about 140 cops that have committed, probably 300 community members and cops' families and stuff. So it should be a fun time if you can make it. It'd be terrific.
8 o'clock.
8 a.m. the 14th, Saturday morning. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any other questions for the chief? Very good, thank you.
Just a couple of things to report under the reports. Graduation for the Fire Academy is coming up. I know Commissioner Schaaf said she can't be there, but it's Friday the 13th, a week from this Friday at NWTC. I will forward to you, if it hasn't already come to you, the detailed classroom location or the location within the college and where to park out there. That'll begin at 5 o'clock. It usually runs about an hour and a half. So if you get there 4:45, you should be out there by 6:15 at the very latest, 6:30 at the very, very latest. So that's coming up during the day that day out at the Public Safety Training Center at NWTC again. The recruits will be doing demonstrations for their families as we've done in the last 4 years. So they'll be going through all the evolutions out there. I think those are going to start at about 9 o'clock. And again, if I know Dr. Mallon has not been out there, so we can forward you the exact location on how to get out there if you want to come and observe and see what they're doing. It's a pretty good afternoon, and it's exciting for their families to see what they're going to be doing. So you're certainly all invited and welcome to be out there. It's a good day for us.
And what time is that, sir?
I think it starts at 9, so we'll go from about 9 till about 1, and then it gives them a break to be able to go in and get cleaned up and get a shower and change clothes and for the graduation itself. So. And the other thing I have to report would be that Cody Johnson has stepped up to take over our life safety education position that was previously occupied by Nick Craig. Nick was in that position for 9 years and decided he wanted to go back to the floor. Cody has stepped up. Nick is helping him. Nick's coming in off duty, helping him with getting acclimated to the new position and getting him introduced to the media. And he's had a couple of public relations events already, and he's been on TV a couple of times. So.
So I wanted to-
Yeah, did a good job.
He's doing fine. He's obviously got some things to get used to. He's nervous, and so he's doing a great job. And he's out in the schools already. So we're real happy with what he's doing so far. He's going to do a great job. So other than that, just have the other items on the agenda.
Hey, is the graduation, is that combined with the general school graduation, or is it separate?
It is not. It's just
Okay.
it's strictly just for our fire academies.
Okay.
We have 6 recruits in there, so it'll be
Okay.
those recruits plus their families there.
Okay.
So it's a nice afternoon.
And actually, the invitations have come out already. 'cause I
Okay.
recall
Did they give you the directions and
Yep.
everything of where it's at?
Yep,
Okay,
with
great.
buildings.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll try to make the morning session.
Okay.
All right, any other questions for Chief Litton? All right, very good. Next item is the recommendation of appointment to battalion chief. Commission may convene in closed session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session? Moved by Commissioner Nelson,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Mallett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in closed session. While in closed session, the commission unanimously approved the appointment of David Coles as the new battalion chief. Next agenda item, recommendation of appointment of Assistant Fire Chief of Operations. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 2 Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. So a motion to go into closed session. Moved by Commissioner Nelson,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're in closed session. While in closed session, the commission unanimously approved the appointment of Rob Goplin as Assistant Fire Chief of Operations. So now let's bring our guests back in, our visitors back in. You know.
Should I tell them they can leave?
Yeah. Bad news.
Let's go back in. You can step on up to the table.
Gentlemen, during the closed session, I'm delighted to report that the commission unanimously approved the appointment of David Coles as Battalion Chief and Rob Goplin as Assistant Fire Chief of Operations. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you.
Both
Yeah,
of you
that's-
very much.
yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good head.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're Rob.
This is Rob Duplin, yes.
He's got a name tag.
David,
I got one sold in.
congratulations.
Congratulations, David.
Congratulations.
I won't get up.
No problem, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, you've got some good acts to follow here, but you know, the chief and his recommendation and his description of your guys' career and performance, we're delighted to have you. You're very capable to fill in those shoes, so congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Looking more, guys. Yep.
All right, next item is communication. We had the budget status report and spreadsheets. There's only one item on there, and that was relative to some of the follow-up psych evaluations for our control officer hiring. Any questions?
We're pretty much online for budget for the year.
Yep. We had that big bubble last month, which was normal. So I'll entertain a motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Nelson to receive the communications and place on file. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And finally, the bills, and again, the bill was relative to the same items. I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mallett, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pay the bills.
I had one thing that I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Just wanted to also report that the Fox Valley Technical College hiring process is underway. The applications for firefighter are due in on June 3rd, if I remember right,
That
John?
sounds about right.
We have published the notice from Fox Valley. It is on the city website. It is on the Green Bay Metro Facebook page. It's on my personal Facebook page. It's on Twitter. And it's going into the newspaper. So if anybody has, if you have any other place that you'd like to see this thing posted, let us know, let Jen know, or let me know, and we'll get you the advertisement so that you can get it posted in other places as well. We're anticipating, again, a good role. I got notice just again today of another retirement, Jerry Johnson, 27 years in the department engineer, just walked into my office earlier this afternoon and gave me his retirement notice effective June 5th. So we're expecting by the end of the year to probably have 6 or 7 more retirements again, so total with Blank and a few others that are going, so I didn't want to forget to mention that.
Okay, very good, thank you. All right, date and time of the next meeting. Our next regular meeting would be June 2nd, 3 o'clock. Does that work for everyone? Okay, that will be our next meeting. And with that, that's the end of the agenda. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Nelson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Might not have a retirement party.